Welcome to the weekly astrology video. Thank you everyone for being here. If you've been here before, welcome back. I hope you had a good week. I hope that you were able to find the positives in what may not have felt like a positive situation. And if you are new here, I am so happy to have you here. I'm Felicity Fletcher. I am an avid reader, a hopeful author, and a practicing witch and astrologer. And I love doing these weekly videos. They're helpful for me, and I hope they're helpful for you. Just a quick note on the format. I try to run through the astrology as quickly as possible to not keep you for too long. But I do try to have a word for each day and a phrase for the week. So this video is covering the week of Sunday, August 3rd through Saturday, August 9th. I'm actually going to start with the phrase this week. Sometimes we just lose energy, and that's okay. So let's jump into the astrology. We're actually going to start on a pretty high note this week. We are starting with Sunday the 3rd. The moon is moving into Sagittarius. When the moon's in Sagittarius, we tend to be very upbeat. We tend to be very motivated. We're liking everything. We're looking at everything with this big picture view. This is the time that people start businesses, start projects, start new things, get excited about the future. This is a time that is very spontaneous. This is a time that you just jump in the car and go somewhere. Don't think about how you're going to get there or when you're going to eat dinner or lunch, or don't even think about exactly what you need to do when you get there. That's the kind of energy that we're working with the moon in Sagittarius. There is one word that I think really encapsulates Sagittarius, and so that is going to be the word of the day, and that is adventure. I don't have anything for Monday. I do apologize. No word of the day for Monday. But moving on to Tuesday the 5th, we have the moon in Capricorn. When the moon's in Capricorn, we just went from this big, exciting adventure, these new ideas, these new projects, and Capricorn is bringing it all back down to earth. Capricorn is talking about the structure that needs to be in place. Capricorn is discussing things like best practices and systems and procedures. It's all about the structure that we build off of. It's about setting up the walls and putting in the scaffolding so that we can create things out of it. It does feel sobering. We are very aware of limits during Capricorn moon, and this can be a good thing, actually. It feels overwhelming when we hit those limits or try to go past those limits. But if we use this as a time to remember what our limits are and know that we need to stop there, it can help us have a better control of what we do going up to that point. We also tend to be very resourceful when the moon's in Capricorn. So if there is a project that has been a little bit difficult to work on, it's a good time to work on it with the moon in Capricorn. You're going to be able to use the resources around you just a little bit better. And we're going to be more productive, which is why that is the word of the day for Tuesday the 5th, productive. Wednesday the 6th, we have Mars moving into Libra. When Mars is in Libra, we tend to have our interactions and our conflicts and our energy that we're matching other people with tends to be more charming. We're focusing more on influencing other people, influencing the energies, influencing what's happening around us. We do tend to be pretty indecisive. And when we're dealing with Libra, Libra is the scales that we're trying to balance, which means we're trying to make everybody happy. So when we're using our energy, when Mars is in Libra, we tend to be thinking about trying to compromise with everybody, trying to make everybody happy, maybe even to the extent of kind of manipulating people into seeing things our way. We do have to be very careful with that because, of course, manipulation is not a good thing, not usually. And also, we tend to get very passive-aggressive during this time as well. So we need to prepare ourselves for other people who don't think about this going into it or aren't really aware of the energy. They are going to be coming at us a little bit more passive aggressive. They're not going to be as direct. And that is a little bit difficult. But if we know that, it's easier to work with it. It's easier to deal with conflicts when we know what kind of conflicts we're going to be walking into. and we can watch ourselves to keep ourselves from doing that. But it will be a little difficult, and the word of the day for Wednesday is going to be indirect, because that is kind of how things are going to go for a little bit. People are going to be indirect, energy is going to be indirect, and we just have to plan around it. All right, moving on to Thursday the 7th, the moon is moving into Aquarius. Aquarius moon is all about the new, the unusual. We tend to really make decisions and kind of work with our feelings on an intellectual level, not an emotional level. I've talked about this quite a few times before. This is advice that I will hold on to, but if you need to give constructive criticism, or if you need to change something with someone who maybe is reluctant to change, it's really good to do it during a Aquarius moon, because this is when people are going to be reacting with an intellectual side of things, not necessarily with an emotional side. I actually already have a couple meetings scheduled for while the moon is in Aquarius, so that I get to have those more difficult conversations with someone of, hey, you're doing great, but. The other thing while the moon is in Aquarius is we do really tend to focus on freedom in a way, freedom of our routines, freedom what's happening around us, and it can seem kind of like escaping routines, escaping what's currently going on, but in actuality, I think it's more of a search for improvement. Aquarius is always looking at how we can do things better for everyone, and that is why the word of the day for the 7th is improvement. Moving into Friday the 8th, this is when we're going to really start losing this energy. So up until this point, like I had told you at the beginning, sometimes we lose energy, that's okay. And then I've been talking about doing and being upbeat and stuff like that. And Friday is the shift. This is when we're going to start to lose energy. We have two aspects. The first is Mars trine Uranus, which tends to usually be a really fun energy. It tends to be a time that we just really break free. We don't want to do what we've been doing. This Friday, dealing with this energy along with some of the others, people are going to be calling off work. No one's going to want to go into work. No one's going to want to sit in meetings. No one's going to want to do that. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult to do things as normal. It's going to be difficult to have anything scheduled for Friday. One of the things that we do get with this energy is we get the urge to start new projects. We tend to have unique opportunities fall into our laps, but we also have very strong intuition and gut feelings. We really need to remember that intuition, those gut feelings. We need to remember that unique opportunities are not scary. They can lead to good things. We just have to say yes and find out. The reason why I'm reminding you of all that is because we also have Mars opposite Saturn. And this is an energy full of frustration, disappointment. We become our own worst enemies. We judge ourselves very harshly. We tend to really attack ourselves personally. This is a time and an energy when we have a lot of negative self-talk. We have a hard time building ourselves up. It can be really difficult to process what's going on too. So this is the time, depending on how you are, what your energy is like, you may oftentimes be told, remember not to take things personally. When things happen, it's not personal. Someone's thinking about themselves, not thinking about you, that kind of stuff. That's going to be really hard to deal with and to process during this time. Everything's going to feel personal. It's all going to feel just overwhelming. And we're going to be telling ourselves that it's because we're wrong, we are bad, all this stuff. We need to remember to use that energy of Mars trine Uranus, use that intuition, really listen to ourselves and our gut feeling, not our head, listen to our hearts. Our head's going to tell us, you're wrong, you did this wrong, you're bad. But your heart's going to probably tell you something different. Your gut is going to tell you something different. It's going to say, was that really your fault? Is that person really mad at you? Those are the questions you need to ask yourself. Another thing that can help get through this energy is to have to find appropriate ways to release this tension, this anger, this frustration, this angst. Working out, maybe plan a run, maybe plan a hike, plan to go and do and be active. Having an appropriate release will be extremely helpful. These two energies, we have this new, exciting, this unique opportunity energy with Mars trine Uranus, and then we have this frustration, this disappointment, this personal attack energy of Mars opposite Saturn. And we need to work to get those two energies to offset each other. That's why the word of the day is offset. I hope that it helps to remind you that the good will always offset the bad, and the bad will always offset the good. You always have that. There is never a perfect situation. There is never a worse situation. Things can get worse. They are not the worst. They can always get worse, honestly. But there's never perfectly good. There's never perfectly bad. Everything offsets each other. And so we need to remember that. We need to remember to offset the anger with positivity. We need to remember to offset the frustration with hope. We need to offset the disappointment with excitement. So as long as we remember to offset, we will get through Friday. Saturday the 9th, we are going to come into this day tired. It's going to take a lot of energy to get through Friday. And the astrology on Saturday is not going to help us. It's going to kind of drain that energy even more. We have Mars opposite Neptune, which brings with it discouragement, weakness, low energy, kind of like a self-deprecation type of thing. We're really going to be hard on ourselves. We're not going to be able to see it. It's going to be self-deception as well. We're not really going to be able to see ourselves for who we are and what we actually are. We're just going to see a lot more of that negative. We're going to be mad at ourselves for having low energy. We're going to be mad at ourselves because we're not able to do all the things we talked about doing. There's definitely an element of the victim complex here as well. We are going to see ourselves as victims. We are going to see ourselves as it's our own fault. And that is going to be a very negative energy. On top of that, we have the full moon in Aquarius. And there's one big theme. I'm going to take that back. There's a few big themes. There were a few sentences that I just came to my mind intuitively as I was reading this, just really things that really came up. The first one is things we already know but refuse to acknowledge. There are things we know. There are things we know about ourselves. There's things we know about the situations we are in that we are refusing to acknowledge. This full moon in Aquarius is going to highlight those. It's going to shine a light on those things. And we have the option to either continue to refuse to acknowledge what we know or accept it. Those who refuse to acknowledge are about to have a very bad Saturday. There are going to be people out there that don't know. They don't watch these videos. They don't study the astrology. And they're just, no, I'm right. It's this way. Things are this way. They're not that way, even though they know better. And this is going to come back. It's going to bite them in the ass. They're going to lose even more energy. They're going to have a harder time. They're going to be fighting and feel like they're not moving anywhere. But those of us who say, okay, let's see what the full moon shines its light on and be ready to accept it. We are going to be able to move through it. We're going to be able to learn. We're going to be able to grow. There is going to be an element of fulfillment of your previous work during this full moon. So what energy you've put into things, you are going to be seeing a response to that energy. There's going to be a lot of sudden proclamations as people deal with things, as they work through this stuff. You're going to have quite a few humanitarian realizations as well. I think we are going to see this on a global scale. I think we are going to see people changing how they talk about certain things. And I think we're going to have people kind of coming out and saying, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. There's a lot of bad things in the world right now. And yes, we need to get all of that in the light too. So that, I do think it's going to be scary, but it is going to be a good thing. This is a time where if we are willing to be open, we're willing to accept, and we're willing to be focusing on meaningful goals, this is a time that we can have tremendous growth. We will be tired, we will have low energy, we can still go and do and get it done. There's one note that I wrote down for myself personally, that this is my goal for this full moon. This is where my energy for this full moon is going to be. And that is put people and things out of mind that want to hold me back. There are people out there, there are situations out there that are trying to hold me back. And in some cases, they are holding me back. And that's okay. There are going to be things that hold me back sometimes. The world is not always going to give me exactly what I want. That doesn't mean that they get to occupy my mind. It is a lot. This full moon is a lot. The energy surrounding it, all these Mars aspects are a lot. Mars is our planet of energy, and we're really feeling like that energy is getting just sapped from us. We will be tired on Saturday, and that is why the word of the day is weariness. But the common theme we have in astrology is cycles. We are going to be tired. We are going to be weary. What do we do with that? Where do we go next? And how do we respond? It is sometimes we just lose energy, and that's okay. Go ahead and grab a pen, grab a paper, maybe grab your calendar. I want to review the words of the week for you so you have those all in one place. Are you ready? Let's go. Sunday the 3rd, adventure. Monday the 4th, no word. Sorry, I'll work on that. Tuesday the 5th, productive. Wednesday the 6th, indirect. Thursday the 7th, improvement. Friday the 8th, offset. Saturday the 9th, weariness. I hope everyone has a good week. I hope this video helps you have a good week. Please let me know if you want to support the videos. Comment, like, subscribe, share with your friends. Let me know how you're feeling. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how the advice works. But the biggest thing that I ask is just come back next week. This is going to be a tiring week, but we know what to do now. So next week, we'll find out what to do then. Thank you so much. I will see you next week. Quick note, videos will not be as consistent about what days they come out due to some life changes that are all good things. I am committed to doing a video every week. You might even see videos coming out super early on like a Tuesday. Videos might not be coming out till Saturday. I will have them out by the Sunday I am talking about the astrology. That I can promise you. I'll see you next week.